Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, a World Alternative Media here, and of course we're joined by author and economic analyst here at WAM, John Sneisen, and talk about a crazy year, 2017.
Been fun.
But it's only the beginning. But I figured as we close off 2017 and go into 2018, we talk a bit about our accomplishments this year, because there have been many. And I'd like to just start by talking about just going from December to January of 2017. John had traveled to Phoenix, Arizona for the Global Warming and Inconvenient Lie conference put on by our friends at Freedom Force International. Obviously, a really productive trip, lots of great people there. And going from that, we traveled to Acapulco, Mexico for Anarchapulco 2017, to Montana for the Red Pill Expo, as well as through Yellowstone. We've traveled to Las Vegas, Nevada for Freedom Fest, to Vancouver, British Columbia, and surrounding areas to do streeters and work with our good friend Dan Dix of Press for Truth on countless projects. And John went to Jackson Hole, Wyoming during the massive central banker conference. We've covered everything from the monetary system and the markets to politics, culture, conspiracy. We've become huge enemies of Antifa, which is a badge of honor. We've gone over health, freedom in general, and it piles up further and further. Going into interviews we've done this year, I'll start off with Ron Paul, who I interviewed twice. Of course, Maxime Bernier, John Lamb, Rob Kirby, G. Edward Griffin. I hosted a debate between Larken Rose and Victor Pross on borders. Talked to Adam Kokesh several times, Luke Rudkowski, Dan Dix, Eric July, Anarchy Girl, Sterlin Lujan, Carlos Morales, former KGB, Sonny Puzikas, Judd Weiss, John McAfee's running mate, Larken Rose again, separately, Dr. Ryan Greschuk, Stefan Aarnio, Stephen Stairs, Stephen Kendal, Jeff Berwick, Ty Bollinger, Robert Kiyosaki, Richard Gage, Lord Christopher Monckton, Alex Newman, George Webb, Joel Salatin, Patrick Wood, Holly Swanson, Congressman Thomas Massey, John Stossel, New York Governor candidate Larry Sharp, Julie Borowski, Jim Rogers, Jeffrey Tucker, Fit Jedlicka, president of Liberland, Lynn Albrecht, Max Kaiser, Larry Elder, Andrea Parker, wife of so-called Bundy Ranch sniper Eric Parker, Anthem Blanchard, Anna Pashenta, Dan Johnson, Edward Stringham, Todd McDougall, Corey Watkins, candidate for Texas governor, Andrew Meyer, the Don't Tase Me Bro guy, Walter Block, Alyssa Taylor, George Balabanian, Molly Schneider, Chad Jackett, and Dan Larimer, the creator of Steemit.com. And we're going to go into a bit of this a bit further. I somehow got a press pass into a Justin Trudeau press conference and managed to confront him on national television on the carbon tax.
Sneaky booger.
Yeah, and only to be shoved around by security. I ended up calling him a scumbag, which ended up reaching news outlets all over the world. Shame on you and your globalist counterparts. You're scumbag. You're an absolute scumbag. John has exposed the Exchange Stabilization Fund, a master manipulator, which first funded with gold confiscated by FDR, which would later also go towards the IMF at the UN. And now that's a really important subject that we've talked about a lot. What do you think going into 2018? We need to get this exposed.
Well, we need to further work on this, and as we did a video just recently on dark money with Rob Kirby, we had a lot of people after we did another report saying that they would really like us to do something on this, to write a book on it. So maybe we'll end up in 2018 writing a book. I probably are looking at contacting guys like Rob Kirby, Catherine Austin Fitz, and others that have actually worked on and looked at the actual numbers that are hiding in the right and straight side if you
Trillions
actually go
of
and look
dollars.
for it. So there's a lot of hidden money that's out there that we're going to expose in 2018 for sure, Josh.
Yeah, and it'll be a good way for us to get disappeared, of course. And just talking about fiat as well, I mean, we've gone into fiat so many times. All fiat currencies eventually revert to their intrinsic value of zero. They always have, they always will, and this time isn't going to be any different. This has gone back to 1024 AD in China, Canada, and we will be crusaders to continue to expose the fiat central banking system, central planning, quantitative easing, fractional reserve lending, all this madness.
Yeah, and there's been advocates throughout the thousands of years that this have existed against it, and we are just passing on the buck onto whoever next generation will be, as we got it from the past generation.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, John released his second book, Canada, the Greatest Economy in the World, ? John, can you go into a bit of the reaction you got to this book and how it's doing?
Well, it's doing great. It's sold over 1,000 copies now in different places. Plus, I actually found over 5-6 different sites that you can download it for free, which has over 10 to 20,000 downloads everywhere. So it's been doing very well. I don't really care about those sites. A lot of people try to shut them down. Copying your book and putting it up.
But it's information.
Yeah, it's information. So I don't care. I'm more than happy to see that so many people are downloading it and sharing it. I've had a lot of attacks against me for it. It was interesting how I was supposed to have a book launch at McNally Robinson when they suddenly decided to say that, you are not, you can't really have a book launch here. They did try to say it in a nice way, but I know exactly why. Because last time I was there, I know that they got a little bit of flack for me talking about my first book, the End of Freedom, How Our Monetary System Enslaves Us. So it's been great with the whole feedback. I'm having people now that actually some of our viewers that have contacted me and wanting to translate it to French. I'm looking at that currently and having them to help me. It's very exciting.
Well, McNally Robinson, by the way, is a huge book giant, bookstore chain in Manitoba, Canada. And it's also interesting to point out that, I got them in a bit of trouble as well back in 2014, which can't help the situation when I confronted Bilderberg Steering Committee member Conrad Black at the place where he vowed to never come back to Winnipeg, Canada for as long as he lives, because I dared to question him on things that I heard from other Bilderberg members, including David Frum, who I had interviewed or confronted, I guess you could say, in 2013, who said that the European Union was created there. Well, Conrad Black said that that's nonsense. They never talked about it once. And then, of course, we saw the Bilderberg leaked documents about a year or so ago.
Came out, which we exposed.
And it showed that was definitely one of the major things that they were talking about. So again, why are you lying if there's nothing to hide?
Yeah, no, but back to my book again, the Canada Greatest Economy in the World. It's doing great. It's been picked up by Barnes & Noble, I found out, Walmart, like a whole bunch of places all over the world.
A couple of chapters.
Yeah,
retailers.
It's currently selling in I think 8-9 different countries. So it's doing great.
That's awesome.
Compared to other authors that are out there, they really struggle. I've been able to move a substantial amount of books compared to the average author. So I'm happy. We're doing great with the book, getting the word out. That's the most important thing. And over time, more and more people will share this book with others and so on. So I'm very happy to see where we've gotten just in a year with a limited amount. Like we've done a little bit of promotion for it, but I haven't even had a book launch yet, so that's where we're going to go to.
Absolutely, and you can find it on Amazon.com as well. We'll leave the links below as always. And then just moving on from the book, of course, we've covered countless breaking news stories. We reported on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as we've seen their meteoric rise since especially January 2017. What a year for cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Unbelievable. The blockchain definitely is a future. It could be used for good. It could be used for evil. And that's up to us as individuals, as educated individuals, to look to decentralization away from central planning, centralization. Now, moving on from that, we've been interviewed, both of us have been interviewed by InfoWars among countless other major players in media, including many mainstream media organizations. We've been targeted for demonetization by YouTube as so-called hate speech, which really only drove us over to platforms like Steemit.com on the blockchain, as well as DTube, which allows us to actually continue making money, which helps us keep this organization alive, because that's so incredibly important. And John, before we kind of wrap it up, can you kind of just quickly go into what your thoughts have been on this insane year for WAM 2017 and going forward into 2018?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been amazing. It's been a fun ride, traveling, meeting so many fantastic people. Yeah. Some of my idols we've been able to meet in person, the people that you look up to and the reason why I'm doing this in the first place. So lots of fun there. I've been able to work with a lot of great people on other projects as well this year with, the fruition of the Red Pill Expo. I was working on the board there with them, helping, creating this. It was super exciting. And then, of course, working with you, Josh, it's been a pleasure, growing this media station to a whole nother level of where we started. I'm just looking at, some of our old videos and see where we're actually gotten from there. And the quality of content and
we've been going at it together. I mean, I started WHAM about 5 years ago in March 1st, 2013. But John and I met at Monsanto March of all places. I remember going to the thing and thinking, I'm not a fan of Monsanto, but I've been thinking oh man, these are the kinds of rallies where you go to and you're just approached by countless socialists.
Government needs to ban this.
Yeah, and government needs to regulate this and that, even though that's how it got there in the first place. And I bump into John, and there's a photograph about the moment that John came up to me to talk to me, and he asked me, "Do you like free markets?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like free markets. Hey, let's talk." And ended up interviewing him that day, and then we ended up doing a ton of work together. And that was, I think, May 2015, and we've gone over 2 years nonstop, just constantly grinding to put out extra information. And just reporting on countless things, and it's been it's had a huge impact here at WHAM, and we're going to keep ramping that up over and over again, going through 2018, 2019, and onward. But it's been absolutely insane, John, and I mean, it just goes to show that, in the strangest of times, in the strangest of places, you bump into someone, you work well with them, and it just it explodes.
Yeah, no, it's insane. The reason why I went out there was because I was starting to look. I got involved in Freedom Force, and then I decided I got to find someone that is involved in alternative media. Yeah. And there was Josh, and then I approached him.
Yeah, I know. It's an insane thing. And it was so weird, too, because he worked with Freedom Force International with G. Edward Griffin, who is someone that I've admired since 2007, 2008 when I first got exposed to his work. And then it's let's make these connections, let's make those connections, and let's pull it all together.
Story from there.
Yeah, now Ed Griffin's a good friend of ours here at WHAM, which is quite incredible. But moving on from that, I guess all I can say is that in the end, we are here because of you. Exactly. And we knew it was going to be a crazy year, and we've barely scratched the surface in this video. But as we've said here at WHAM for nearly 5 years, next year is going to be bigger. And it has to be, because the fight for individual freedom, liberty, and truth becomes more important with each passing year. The sky is the limit, and we will not fail. We will prevail, and we will always find the truth and be the change. Thanks, John. We will see you in 2018. Just wait. It's going to be insane.
Harder and faster than ever, guys.
See you soon. Like what you see here at WHAM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so overwhelmingly demonetized and censored by YouTube as the Anti-Defamation League comes in and flags all of our content as hate speech. You can also find me at Josh Sigurdson at Steemit.com. That's Steemit.com, the future of social media, where you get paid in the upvote of your post via Steem, the cryptocurrency. You can also find our Bitcoin address in the description and the comments below, as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And don't forget to come on down to Anarchapulco in Acapulco, Mexico in February, one of the best events of the year, and you can save money on your tickets by typing in promo code WHAM. That's WAM. We'll leave the link below for you, and until next time, don't forget to subscribe. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.
Wow.